even talking to your mom, I talked to my mom yesterday, as I usually do on Sundays, and I told her, like, yeah, I'm interviewing Pharrell tomorrow. She was like, oh, yeah, the rapper. You know how, people just make labels. But I was like, no. I was like, Mom, he's more than a rapper. He's like a genius, and, you got all this, because trendsetters are usually that way. If you have the confidence to go on and go against the grain, and your sound and your style and everything else was, odd, so to speak. I mean, it was great, but it was definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
So just talking to you, you could see, like, just from how you said your interactions with Hans, is that it's a lot that goes into it. Like, you study and you prepare. And what's the next challenge for you? Like, do you see anything else that you're like, man, I might want to do this that I haven't, got into, but you see it on the horizon?
I think this is enough for right now.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot for me to do.
Yeah.
Man, it's so cool. The experience is so, like, and you just have all these toys, man. You got all these sounds to play with. Oh, I'm happy.
What introduced you to the world of music? Like, when did you know it was that this is something I really want to get into more than just listening to? When did you feel like this is...
That realization never came to me. To me, I think I'm still connected to my childhood of hearing a lot of Earth, Wind & Fire, a lot of, Michael Jackson, a lot of, and the Jackson 5, obviously, a lot of Stevie Wonder, tons and tons of Stevie Wonder, and this was my environment when I grew up. So, as a child, when you're constantly being subjected to, and subjected sounds very harsh, but that's not what I mean. But I mean literally. That was in my environment. So as a kid, I grew up on major sevenths and minor sevenths and all those, sophisticated jazz chords, and groovy at the time too. So that made me pretty much always appreciate that type of chord. So in listening to hip hop, because hip hop was fun, hip hop felt like, it was just kind of like something fun to do. Whether it was dancing or like imitating the rappers or whatever, it was just fun to do. But then came a group called Tribe Called Quest, and they had this song called Bonita Apple Bomb. And when I heard that song, I was like, man, this guy took what sounds like one of the sweetest parts of the song, which probably I assumed at the time was a bridge, and made a song out of it. And he just made that loop over and over again with some heavy drums. And I was like, from that point on, I was like, man, how did they do that? I want to try to do that too. And that's where making music became, a great pastime for me. Again, never thinking in a million years, as I lived in Virginia Beach, Virginia, where there's no music industry at all. Never thought that would ever happen. And so then randomly, Teddy Riley decides that of all places on the planet, coming from New York, and working a lot out of Harlem, of all places, he decided he was not only going to move to Virginia when he could have just went straight down to Atlanta, where there was Babyface and a whole respective, third district, if you will, of music industry outside of New York and LA. Secondary district, I would say. Virginia wasn't even a third or fourth. There was nothing there, virtually. And of all places, he landed his studio like literally a 5-minute walk from my high school. And of all things he could be doing, as he's approaching the Michael Jackson Dangerous album, he decides he wants to send some scouts to a talent show. And of all the people that played that day, we stuck out.
Wow.
And then the rest was history.
Wow.
I just thought, this is not going anywhere. I've never seen any, you don't see people get on in that sense. You see the basketball players, you see them get scouted from Virginia. We had a lot of basketball players, and we still do, and a lot of football players that come from our area and all over Virginia. That I saw, but my jump shot was on E. I don't know anything about the game. I spent more time playing in the band, and with football, I can run and you're not going to catch me, but if they do catch me, like I don't know how many times I'm going to get hit and be able to deal with it.
Right.
So that was never even remotely a possibility for me. So I never thought I would ever see anything beyond, you know, the salary of an art teacher, which I was fine with. I was always, you know what I'll do? I'm gonna become an art teacher because I get to do what I love to do, and I'll be able to at least pay my bills. That was it. That's the way I thought about life. I would put a cap on everything because I just wanted to be comfortable. So in putting a cap on everything and just trying to outsmart everything and make sure that I wasn't worried about what I had to do for the next 10 years, I just kind of said to myself, this is what I'm going to end up doing. And so when I was granted that first opportunity to write Teddy's verse for Rump Shaker, that was fun. I got this notoriety, and I became intoxicated on the local success and the local accolades, the local slaps on the back and high fives and handshakes, and, you know, a couple of skirt lifts. You know, I got intoxicated on that, and I was like, wow, okay, this is kind of interesting. But again, never thinking that it was going to go anywhere. And then from there, I was given a couple of more opportunities to actually produce a track with me and Chad from our group. And so we just kept working. But we never thought it was gonna like sustain us. We just thought we're gonna do this, and then somehow we're gonna have to go back to Virginia and figure out how to get a job or something. But we just kept making money, and we kept getting opportunities, and the stairs, just the rungs would go up versus going down, and all the way down to here. Like, it's like, you know, you're given an opportunity to score a film and to be accompanied by Hans Zimmer and his incredible team. You don't know. So when you ask me, what am I going to do next? You see me, I'm capping it again. I'm like, you know, I'm cool now. I mean, you know, I'm cool.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, so I mean, I just, that's a very long-winded explanation and answer, but I was just trying to explain to you from my perspective. So when I say to you, nah, I never really thought this was going to be like this, and if you ask me tomorrow, I will say the same thing. It's the reason why. Because all I knew is that my ears were conditioned to a certain sound, which drew me to Tribe Called Quest, which drew me to figure out how that worked. So I started making beats, trying to figure out how that worked.
How do you balance the different aspects of your career? Because, I mean, n.e.r.d, it seems like it's your core music, or like where you started, but you've become so iconic outside of that, you know, Pharrell Williams could just stand alone and float away from n.e.r.d, but you still work with them. Like, how do you work how do you balance, like, okay, you know, I have a band I'm working on, I have these movie projects I'm working on, you've done stuff in fashion and everything else. Is there like a balance to where you cap what you're gonna try to do? You know, like, this is what I'm doing this year. Do you have goals that you set out for that year, and this is what you work on?
One of my manager's duties is to cap everything.
Yeah.
And yank the plug sometimes. You can't do it. You have no time. Oh my God, Mr. Fucking Ambition.
One of my favorite tracks, So Ambitious. This.
Thank you.
But man, I thank you for your time, and we will keep watching, listening to your music, and following you in whatever you do, man. So just keep on impressing us. We'll keep on following.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.